Yes, sir. What's up, good people? It's your boy, the boy Henry Heck, back at it again with another video. And today I'll be speaking on this Square situation. You know, a lot of people out here talking about, you know, they saying F you to Sony. They realize the error of their ways. They're not going multi-platform, etc., etc., which is nonsense. These people didn't read nothing. They didn't read nothing. First and foremost, Square has always been multi-platform. Always. There's even games that Xbox got, the PlayStation don't got. You know, Nintendo get games, PC get games, PlayStation got like 3 exclusive games. 3. Square's financial woes is not because of these 3 games. You understand what I'm saying? If Dragon Dogma or Resident Evil can sell 4-5 million and be successful on 3 different platforms, that's success. On 3 different platforms. But Final Fantasy 16 selling 5 million on one platform ain't successful. Now you might be able to make an argument and say, oh, well, they could have sold another million. Sure, they could have sold another million. Sure. But who's to say the money they put into making it multi-platform wouldn't have ate up that extra million? It costs money to be multi-platform. It costs resources to be multi-platform. It's no guarantee that just because your stuff multi-platform, you finna make paper. Alan Wake, folk loved it. Won awards. Ain't made no money. And that's an established franchise. Folk love Alan Wake. Folk love Alan Wake. Folk ranting and raving about Alan Wake when it came out. Alan Wake 2. The thing is this. They just want Final Fantasy 7. They just want Final Fantasy. That's all it is. They just want these specific games. They don't give a fuck about these other games from what we've seen because they ain't buying them. Nobody's buying them. Square's putting out way too many, and this is their problem. They putting out way too many fucking games that don't nobody know about or don't nobody give a fuck about. That is it. Folks are like, oh, they doing Capcom strategy, and they want to point to Street Fighter 5. Was Street Fighter 5 exclusive to the 5? I mean, exclusive to the 4? Sure, but why was it exclusive to the 4? They ain't telling you that part. They ain't telling you why. Oh, they realize what Capcom realized. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Then they sharing this stuff, and you could go into the earnings where they speaking about how much money they made with 16, 7, Dragon Quest, the franchise that folks actually give a fuck about. And in my opinion, that's the part of Capcom strategy what they implementing. They finna stop making all this bullshit, and they finna focus on what the gamer wants from them. Like I said before, stop putting out all these obscure titles, all this stuff. You putting stuff out, people ain't buying it. You focus on your bread and butter. You focus on your Dragon Quest. You focus on your Final Fantasy. You focus on your Final Fantasy 14 online. You know, you focus on your mainstay titles. This what Capcom ain't taking no risks. Last risk they took was Exo Primal. You might see Capcom take a one risk every 2 years. They not out here doing all this risking it for the biscuit. They ain't doing this. Square out here dropping game after game after game after game after game after, and wondering why they losing money. And then these people, these individuals on the net, want to run to 3 games that's exclusive on PlayStation as if that's the cause. As if that's why Square over here fumbling and getting rid of people and shutting down projects. These folks shut down $140 million worth of projects. That's one game. That's one AAA game. 140 million? That's one game. And it was probably a multitude of like fucking hella small titles like some mobile stuff. and probably some 2D, turn-based stuff, which, keep that kind of stuff coming, man. Octopath, folk love Octopath. And I'm not saying not to do that, but focus on what is selling. They gotta reel it in. This ain't no time to be dropping game after game after game after game after game after game after game, and then wondering why you ain't making no money, and still want to have high standards as far as sales go. Got folk out here talking about, according to Bloomberg. I don't care what Bloomberg talking about. Bloomberg ain't got no credibility over here, none whatsoever. Goddamn title of the goddamn article is a whole quote. That's 2 sentences worth. Because they know what they're doing. They know people are not going to read this article. So they put the most salacious information in the title, and that's what folk run with. Reading is fundamental, and folk ain't fundamental. This is craziness to me. But they know what they're doing. They've been twisting this Square stuff for like a week and a half, 2 weeks now. Finally, Sony. Finally, Square see that they don't need Sony, and they gotta get with the times. PC is growing in Japan, and like, brothers, let's stop the madness. Let's stop the madness and call a spade a spade. You want the games wherever you at. That's all it is, and that's fine. Just say that. But don't try to get all overly intellectual about the reasonings and the understandings of the comings and the goings and why they ain't make money here because they ain't put the game here and all that. Bro, you don't know. You don't know. Historically, Japanese RPGs have not done well on Xbox. That is a fact. That is a fact. Who was out here calling the Jap crowd? Even now during the sales split, how well the Crisis Core do? How well the Final Fantasy 15 do? Octopath 1. These folk are not buying these games in enough of a scale for it to actually matter. Now, sure, it could be cheap as hell to port them games over there. It could be cheap as hell, and they could break even to make money over there. I'm not saying they won't. But come on with it, bro. The reason for certain games to be exclusive is because if you come to me asking for some money, and I got a video game console, rest assured that game coming over here first. Rest assured. And that's the thing that people leave out, man. These folks probably went to Xbox. Xbox got a habit of folk coming over there and them turning them down, telling them no. Some came out a little while ago by GTA 3. They turned down GTA 3. So let's stop trying to act like Sony the big bad wolf and they doing this and doing that and trying to keep games off of here and like, bro, if I'm giving you money, rest assured it's over here. It's over here, baby. It's over here. I'm paying for this. You think I'm finna pay for it or you just gonna do what you want? Oh no. Oh no. And then too, when they go to Sony pay for it. They got the biggest base of gamers that buy games. A lot of this narrative out here, well, because y'all don't buy games. Y'all, ironic coming from folks that who historically throughout this gen, last gen, ain't bought no game. They now, if it ain't no game, but they were just harassing the developer not too long ago. Hypercharge. But then they got the nerve to hop on a poster by Square and sell something and tell a PlayStation game and they don't buy no game. That's pure plum craziness, man. Pure plum craziness. These folks got some audacity. And, I would say I don't understand, but it's just a lot of people trying to drive clicks, trying to drive interactions, which is fine. Do your thing. But rest assured, you setting a lot of these people up to get cooked, get roasted in the comments. So I'm scrolling through stuff and people saying it's like when I seen an individual bring up Street Fighter 5. I'm like, what? And Capcom strategy changing because of Street. Like, what are you talking about? They seen the light. What light? You mean the light of stop just churning games out that ain't nobody buying? Spending all this money building all these games? They spread themselves too thin. Too thin. Like, I get it, bro. Y'all putting out games. Y'all want to put out games. Y'all want to put out a lot of games. But like, bro, y'all putting out too many games, bro. They need to cut that down. Maybe 4 games max a year. Maybe 4 games, 5 games. If you want to throw your mobile game off in there, toss your mobile game in there. But these folk turning out games, boy. Thought Ubisoft put out a lot of games. These folk put out a lot of games. And I can only name like 3 or 4 of them. And then them put out 10, 15. Of course these games ain't selling. Of course y'all overspending. I don't know whose idea that was to do that. I don't know who over there thinking it just, let's put this out, put this out, put this out, put this out, I don't know what's going on over there. Folk like to say Ubisoft like a assembly line or whatever you want to call it. Square putting out, they throwing them out. And they just sitting there rotting. Goodness gracious, boy. But I'm glad they, you know what I'm saying, changing stuff up. Because like I said, we don't want Square going nowhere. We don't want Square getting bought. We don't want Square continuing to overspend. I mean, yeah, they got to trim some fat, cut some games, cut some projects, cut some personnel. It's just part of when you done dug yourself into a hole like this. And that's what they done. They dug themselves into a hole. You know, a lot of people like to put the blame on Sony and exclusivity, but I argue that's where they done made a lot of their money. That, and you got 14. FF14, well, they getting a check every month off of that joint. Folk paying a sub on that joint. Well, yeah, I ain't gonna keep it too much long. I ain't wanna rant on out. That's the word I was looking for. I don't know why I couldn't, But yeah, I will catch y'all in the next one.